Hey there. So in this video, I'm going to explain how I learned French. We're talking specifically about how to learn new words in English to increase your vocabulary. In the previous videos, I talked about how I learned Portuguese and increased my vocabulary by reading articles. And then I told you how I started teaching English. So now I want to talk about how I studied French to test my theories and observations about language learning, because I wanted to know if what I was teaching my students was really the best thing they could do. Because I know time is a very precious commodity. Many people want to learn a new language, but they don't have a lot of time to study. So if you only have 1 hour a day to study, what are the best things you can do, the most efficient ways to study and learn that will help you get the fastest results? Or if you even have only 15 minutes a day to study, what can you do in that time? So we had a teachers meeting, and we were talking about different methods of learning, and one specific method that we were trying, and we were explaining to people how to use it. And one of the teachers in the meeting was learning French. He was finishing his French course, so he already spoke. And so the coordinator asked him to give us a demonstration of that method in French. So he gave us a basic French lesson using that method, and everybody loved it. All the teachers who were there really enjoyed it, and so we decided to start studying French together. So we asked our friend, the other teacher, if he would teach us French, so we could actually experience what it was like to be a student once again. So we finally found a time that everybody could study together. It was on a Tuesday afternoon, and we began having French classes. So I saw this as an opportunity to test all those theories that I had from studying Portuguese and teaching students for the past several years, and even with these methods and techniques that I had developed and was sharing with my students. So I began to reapply them on myself studying French. So every week I would go to French class, but before that, during the week, I would study and prepare every day. So normally what I would do was get up in the morning, go for a jog, and I would listen to some audio courses like Pimsleur, Michel Thomas. And then when I got home, I would have breakfast, take a shower, get ready to come to work, and then I would study for some time, as much time as I could, before I actually started working, using the integrated learning system like I've been talking about in these videos, because I wanted to develop all 8 skills. I didn't want to develop just my reading skills or just my speaking skills. I wanted to be able to use the language to communicate in all areas. So it was really exciting to see this development in progress. And then during the day, whenever I had a break, I would study on online courses like Duolingo and V.O.C.A.B. Then at the end of the day, before going home, I would try to find people that I could speak with online to practice through Skype, Google Hangouts, and things like that. So I was building my French-speaking network. And then finally at night, when I got home after I had supper, put my kids to bed before going to sleep, I would watch some videos in French, like at yabla.com and different video networks like that. And there were days when I'd studied so much I didn't want to study anymore, so I would just put on a movie and watch that movie in French. I had gathered a small collection of French movies from my teacher and other friends who were studying French. So usually late at night or on the weekends, I would watch a lot of movies. So doing these different things helped me increase and improve my French skills rapidly. So when I got to class, for me the class wasn't really a time to learn, but more to practice with the teacher and ask questions about doubts I had. So basically I flipped the classroom. And it was really exciting because what I discovered was that the more I learned and realized I could use what I was learning, the more motivated I was to study the language. So if you do that with your English learning, I think it'll really help you. But going back to what we're talking about, learning vocabulary. So coming back to our topic at hand, learning vocabulary. When I was studying with the integrated learning system, I was looking to tweak and make my study habits more efficient. And remember, I told you when I started studying Portuguese, I would just go through the articles and underline everything I didn't know. But when it came to French, I realized there were 3 levels of words that I didn't know. The first level of words were those words that I didn't know at all, I'd never seen before. So when I was first studying, I realized that, a lot of those words I had never seen before, I had no idea what they meant, so I would just mark them. I would make them bold. The second level of words were those words that I would see them, I knew I had seen them before. I remember I'd seen them studying Duolingo or Buzu, one of my list or lesson, but I couldn't remember exactly what it meant. So I would mark those and highlight them yellow or underline them, something like that. And then there was a third level of word, which were those words that I knew a meaning, but in the context, they seemed a little bit different, kind of off, like they had a different meaning. So, for example, I would see a word like clip, and I would think of paperclip because that was the meaning that I knew, and in the context, it would be talking about a video clip, for example. So that's just an example, but I would see a word, I knew it, but it had a different meaning in the context, and I couldn't really figure it out. And the third level of words were words that I knew I had studied, I knew a meaning, but in the context, they seemed to have a different meaning that didn't make sense. So for example, I would see a word like clip. Clip, I would know is video clip, but then in the text, it was talking about clipping something together. So in my mind, I would understand video clip, but not what it was talking about, for example. So those words I would italicize or mark some other way. And then when I went back through in the process to guess what those words meant and then study them and look them up before backing them up, that was kind of how I developed this 5-step process that I'm explaining to you in this video. So in that way, I was able to overcome these 3 main problems and use these different ways of learning to study. So I would study lists of words, I would study online lessons, then I would see them in context, and also as I was trying to use those words and I would think of other words that I didn't know how to say, I would go and learn those as well. So just to kind of help bring that all together for you, all these different aspects that I've been talking about in how I faced all of these situations in my own language learning process. So I hope you found this video enlightening. If you have any questions or something wasn't clear, please leave your feedback in the comments below. So in future videos, we can discuss those and talk about them. I think this is going to be a fun video series for us to do. Vocabulary is extremely interesting. Also, don't forget, we're releasing a series of vocabulary videos here at EXL English as well. So make sure to subscribe so you're updated automatically by YouTube and on the blog whenever we release new videos. And please, feel free to share this video with your family and friends, people that you know need to learn English, that need to increase their vocabulary. I know they'll appreciate it, and we appreciate it as well, while you're helping us to spread the word to help as many people learn English as possible. And please, share this video with your family and friends, people that you know need to learn English. I know they'll appreciate having this information, and I appreciate you helping us to spread the word. So thank you very much. I hope you're enjoying this. We'll be talking more about this How to Learn Vocabulary series. So stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next video.